Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I have a load of new products to try out and share my thoughts with you. I finally have the Natasha Denona Xenon palette in my grubby little paws, and I will be using that with the very exciting brand new fundamental eye set from Sonia G, which I've had for a little while now. I've been hiding it from you, but we're going to be using all of these brushes with that palette today. I finally got my Pat McGrath Holiday Cheek Palette. I have a new concealer from Estee Lauder, the Futurist Soft Touch Brightening Concealer. And I have some new products from Burberry, their mascara and two of their lipsticks. So if you are interested in my thoughts and seeing all of these new products in action, then keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to be using this bad boy today. Finally, Natasha Denona's Xenon palette rocked up 2.5 weeks after I ordered it from her website. Never again, some would say, including me. It did take an inordinate amount of time to be delivered, during which it arrived at Selfridges and I could have had it weeks ago, but you know, we live and we learn. So I will be using this for the very first time ever, live as we speak. And equally as exciting, I have the almost ready to be released Sonia G Fundamental Eye set of brushes. I'm beside myself. I'm going to be using these today with the Xenon palette, but I've had these for like maybe a week now, maybe a bit longer. Usually the PR I get from Sonia G doesn't come until like either launch day or even after it's launched, and they sell out like hotcakes. But this time they are here well ahead of release. I believe it's the 14th that these are going to launch on Beautylish. So we've had plenty of time for me to get my thoughts together and to share them in action with you guys well ahead of when they are launching. So we have 4 new brushes and 4 redesigns of like previous brush shapes within this. They are going to be available as a set and individually, so that's fantastic news. Sonia has an amazing blog post all about these brushes if you want to know the real tea, the real details, the comparisons, size, shapes to all of her other brushes. She always has all of that amazing detailed information on her blog. I will link that down below, but I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on these, my first impressions and my favorites as we go along. I just wish to announce that this is not my finished hairdo for today, okay? Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing with this palette. I haven't used it before. I haven't even swatched it yet. It's hot off the press. So yeah, this could go in any direction. We are afraid. I'm going to start off with the Crease L, which is a brand new brush from this upcoming collection from Sonia G, and I'm going into the shade Ebb. Who knows what this is going to look like? We don't know. These shades, okay, it's fine. These shades from Natasha Denona, it's one of the things I don't love about her formulas is that some of these like creamy matte type of formulas, they look nothing like on the lid how you expect them to based on how they appear in the pan. And for a makeup idiot such as myself, who's really afraid and doesn't know what she's doing and is really just completely winging things 99% of the time, that is not my favorite thing, because it's just, I need things to look how they're going to appear on the eye. Otherwise it's adding to my struggles, my daily struggles. This is actually completely fine. It's fine. It's blending out gloriously, that shade. When I first applied it, it was quite sort of precise and I thought, oh no, but it's blending out with this brush and that formula. It's blending out incredibly. This Crease L, by the way, is probably my #1 pick. If you are getting one brush from this collection from Sonia, I would suggest this one because it is a brand new shape and I feel like it's like the brush when it comes to eyeshadow that I've been like missing from Sonia. It's just the perfect larger fluffy crease brush, but it's not like so big that you can't use it if you have like hooded eyes or, you know, smaller eye shape, smaller space to work with, but it blends like a dream. It's so soft and light. These handles are just epic. They are the walnut wood just like the Fundamental Face series. It's just lovely to hold. It's more solid in the hand, you know, they're a little larger than your average eyeshadow brush, easier to hold, easier to control, more comfortable, a delight. I'm just taking plenty of time to get this really nicely diffused throughout my entire eye. I'm then going to use the Worker S, which is a sort of redesigned version of the previous Worker 3. So this is Worker S from the new collection, previously Worker 3. And I'm going to use a Night Sky. This could be a mistake. It's fine. Phew. Again, really not sure looking at it that wasn't going to be much too dark, but it's perfect for what I want, perfect for what I was looking for. I was very much hoping with this palette that it was going to kind of dupe the 5 pan that is no longer available, that I'm always teasing you guys with. It's one of my absolute all-time favourite palettes, but appears to have been like fully discontinued forever. I'm hoping I can kind of get similar looks, or I was kind of hoping I could get similar look to that. I don't think I am. I just don't think there's enough blue in here to achieve what that palette does, unfortunately, but you know, fingers crossed we continue our appeal to Natasha to bring that one back. And this brush, again, I mean, the Worker brushes are just amazing anyway. They really just do so many jobs. You could use this on the mobile lid, you can use it as an effective crease brush. It blends out incredibly well. I'm going back now with my crease L because I brought that shadow a little higher than I intended. And these brushes are like amazing mistake fixers. So yeah, very good for amateurs and makeup idiots and heavy-handed people such as myself. But this shadow also, for such a rich shadow, is blending out gloriously. I do love a Natasha Denona matte shadow. Obviously this palette is super duper cool toned and very grey heavy. It's not like my typical preference when it comes to eyeshadow, but I also think it's unlike really any other option that we've had previously from Natasha Denona, from any brand in general. It's a really special, unique colour story, and I think if you are a cool toned person, this is like all of your dreams come true, and I can absolutely appreciate that. I understand people sort of saying, oh, it's like 50 shades of grey in an eyeshadow palette, but there's a lot of variance here, and if you like greys and cool tones, like literally you're in luck. What a delight. And I think I could get on board with it, to be honest. I think it brings out blue eyes really nicely. And it's actually nice to have something in my collection that is quite different to all of the neutral and warm tones that I typically gravitate towards. Next, I'm going to use the Builder M, which was previously the Builder 3. And I'm going to use this Gru. Is that how we say that? Someone correct me in the comments, I'm so sorry. Oh, that is very pretty. What a pretty shade. I'm going to keep that on my outer third. This brush is amazing. Obviously it's not a brand new design. It is a kind of tweaked version of a previous brush, but wow, I mean, it's just perfect for this job. You could use this all over the mobile lid, outer V. You could smoke this under your lower lash line because it is precise enough for that. And it just really packs the colour without like giving you fallout. These brushes are exceptional. This set is all of the eyeshadow brushes you could ever need. It is not missing anything. It's very comprehensive. And then I'm going to use the Builder S, which is a brand new shape. I really want to use Snowbow because that is like really speaking to me, but that's like more so a Charlotte Comfort Zone colour. I'm going to use this one because I'm going to challenge myself. Or am I going to use Stella? Oh, it's hard to choose between these two. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to use Superionic. Is that how we say that? Some of these shade names are challenging me. They are. And this is a really nice, like, diddy flat brush. Perfect for the lid, but especially perfect if you have a smaller mobile lid, a smaller eye, a hooded eye, because it is small, but it's not so small that you're going to take half an hour to, you know, cover your lid, and it picks up a really nice amount of product. This is one of those quite loosely pressed Natasha shadows, and it's a little more crumbly, so you have to be a bit more careful. Probably a finger might be typically better, but this brush is handling it so well. Like, I'm literally only getting a few flecks of fallout despite it being so loose and crumbly, but so pretty, so pretty. I really think this palette is like more wearable than we might think it could be. Like, obviously I'm doing quite an intense, smokier, cool toned eye today, but you know, you could definitely get some more wearability out of this, just sticking with some of the lighter mattes and some of the less cool, less grey shadows. But this is really pretty. I feel like it's bringing out my eyes. I feel like it's something different. I think I'm going to get a lot more use out of this than I thought I would. And I'm going to use the Pencil S, which is another new, brand new design. The teensiest little pencil brush, obviously. So many shades in here I wish I could have used today. Like, I'm having FOMO about some of the shades that I didn't use. But I think I'm going to use this Contrail shade, which is this sort of like matte white, to like brighten up that inner corner with this little brush. That's lovely. Perfect for that. You may be thinking, how on earth am I going to use that shade if you're not super creative? And this is the perfect way. Perfect brightening inner corner. This pencil is so small. It would be ideal for the lower lash line as well. If you want a more subtle lower lash line, certainly could be used under the brow arch beautifully for a very, again, precise sort of carving out of the brow. Ideal. It gets right in there. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to quickly prime my skin. Nothing new. My Tom Ford primer, of course, not a new one. I didn't have a new primer or foundation to use today, which is sad. Like, I wish there was a new, really exciting foundation. I feel like we're due one, but I couldn't find one. So happily though, I see that this has been restocked on all the retailers. You know, I thought it had been discontinued for a while because it was like out of stock everywhere apart from Tom Ford's own website, and I was momentarily terrified, but it appears to have been restocked. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Stop it. Don't even suggest we're discontinuing that primer. So while that soaks into the skinsies, I'm going to try out my first Burberry product, their mascara. I was incredibly tempted by the brown shade, but what I'm learning when it comes to brown mascara is it's definitely not as dramatic, and if I don't love the mascara in black, I won't like it in brown. It just won't be enough. Like, I need a dramatic brown to, you know, give me what I'm looking for. So I thought, in order to try this mascara out fairly, I'm going to try the black first. If we love it, we can go back for the brown, but I love them for bringing out a brown colour. Thank you so much, Burberry. Somebody gets it. This packaging is delightful. So beautiful. Feels very weighty and luxurious. The brush is right up my street with the more rubberized bristles. And it's called the Ultimate Lift Mascara, which excites me because I do like a lifting mascara. So I have high hopes for it. I do love those rubberized, what? I do love a rubberized mascara wand, you know, some of my all-time favourites, or most of my all-time favourites actually, the Charlotte Tilbury, the Benefit Roller Lash, the MAC Stack, they all have the rubberized bristles, you know, as opposed to the sort of stable brush variety. Okay, so first coat, I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel like it's definitely given me some lift, separation, no clumping. it's not super intense at this point, but you know I'm a 2 to 3 coat kind of girl. So yes, I feel like this is a good starting point for a first coat. Can't complain. I'm just going to use my Guerlain Terracotta foundation, simply for the fact that I haven't used it for a long time and I want to try and remember how I'm going. Do you see how red my skin is because the heating is on? Gosh, flipping winter. My skin hates it. I don't mind it myself, but yeah, my skin's not a big fan. In case you missed it, I do like this foundation. It is a little matte for my personal preference, but is a very nice, very good fuller coverage matte option. Wears really nicely. I have spoken about it before. I don't know why I'm telling you this, just in case you're new here, I guess. In which case, welcome. How are you? Okay, so let's do a second coat. It's definitely not a super wet mascara, and it also hasn't dried down like too quickly to let me build it up with the next coat. It's really getting every little lash in this inner corner, which we're a big fan of, and it's fanning my lashes out nicely. I'm not getting much of volume. It's definitely more of a sort of lifting, separating, fanning mascara as opposed to a volumizing one, but that is pretty much my preference these days. I do like a good length and lift as opposed to the volume. I feel like you can get volume with these types of mascaras. You just need to go from the other side of the lashes and that will give you the drama. Because I'm doing this on camera, I'm making an absolute mess of my lid, getting it all over the place, but that is a filming problem. It's a me problem, essentially. Very hard to apply mascara on camera without getting it everywhere. Okay, so now moving on to concealer, and this new Estee Lauder concealer. This is the Futurist Soft Touch Brightening Concealer. I have used this a couple of times. I have it in the shade 2W. It has the most bizarre doe foot I've ever experienced in all my life. Here she is. I don't even know what we were going for here. Maybe like a horse's hoof was the inspiration. We can only guess, we don't know. But yeah, I do not like the doe foot. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera, but it's kind of tricky to get it like into the inner corner. It doesn't pick up as much product as I wish it did. I have to keep like re-dipping, which is less than ideal. You can really carve out your nose, I have noticed that. But yeah, it's quite large and like not very precise on the tip. So it's kind of tricky to get in here, and you kind of, yeah, it's a bit of a messy application process. It was what I found. Also, the shades online, the swatches, make them look a lot darker than they are. So I ended up with like definitely a lighter shade than I would have expected based on the swatches. The shade I really wanted, 2N, was out of stock, so I went for 2W, which I don't mind, it's fine, but yeah, I wouldn't have gone as bright as this if I hadn't have been slightly misled by the swatches, which look a lot darker than the reality. I have used this concealer a few times and I really like it. It's not as full coverage as the House Labs for me, but it's definitely on a par with the Pat McGrath, the Huda, the Natasha Denona. It's got that sort of typically full coverage. It's just not as like crazy full as the House Labs is. It covers, you know, everything I pretty much want it to. It's very comfortable. It feels quite hydrating under the eye. Blends in really nicely. It wears very nicely. It doesn't really crease. The first time I used it, it creased a little. I applied it with a brush. Today I'm using a sponge, and that will help get rid of any creasing. But other than, you know, the shade does look a little intensely stark under there, which is, you know, I'd say my mistake, but I feel like the swatches are to blame. I'm not going to take that, okay? It wasn't my fault this time. I'm going to use my Pat McGrath powder to set under there. It's a very nice natural finish, not really matte, but also not like a luminous finish. It's kind of a natural finish, which I like. Very, very nice. I will keep on trying this out. I mean, all of these products, you know, I will give you more sort of longer term thoughts in my, what month will it be? November? Surely not. In my November roundup, I will update you further on all of these products and how I've got on over the coming weeks, especially the concealer. You know, you really need to go to town on a concealer for many weeks to find its weaknesses. But so far, I'm really liking it, and it's definitely going to be like a regular rotation concealer. Really nice amount of coverage, really smooth under the eyes, like really not exaggerating. In fact, if anything, I feel like it's blurring the texture under my eyes. They look very smooth. Definitely some darkness still showing through, but I didn't build it up. I don't really worry about that so much. It's got a lot going for it, okay. Now, finally, I got my hands on this blush palette, bronzer and blush palette, I should say, from Pat McGrath. I cancelled all of my holiday order from her after it took weeks to not arrive and weeks to not even ship. I said to them, I'm not being funny. This is ridiculous. Please cancel all of my orders. And they did, which is unusual. Usually they say we can't possibly. So it just goes to show they can if they want to. And then I ordered it from Selfridges once it arrived, because it turns out this, I mean, I didn't bother with the eyeshadows that I originally, in the large palette that I originally did order from Pat's website at launch, because the sort of opportunity for reviews has been and gone with that collection. You know, it's too late, we've all moved on with our lives. But I realised I still just wanted this for myself, like review or not. I wanted to try this out, and I like it more than I thought I would. I really got to enjoy this shade of bronzer. This is Bronze Nirvana. I've been using this more lately as opposed to the nude, what is it? The nude shade, the cool tone shade that I typically use. I've been using the Bronze Nirvana shade recently and like kind of preferring it as a bit of a warmer bronzer, and that's the shade that's in this palette. This is the medium palette, Nirvana in Bloom, the medium one. And yeah, I really like it in here. It's definitely not the exact same, I don't think, formula wise. It's a very nice soft matte, very buildable, very easy to blend natural bronzer that I really like the ability to sort of just add and build it up. I really like that, and it's really nice. I think this little palette is perfect for travel. You could definitely use it on the eyes as well, so that's a little bonus, cheeky Brucey bonus. Now I will say I thought I would be using this shade as highlighter, but it's definitely a bit too deep, I think, for me to use as highlighter. Maybe we'll try it today. So far I've just been using this as like a blush topper or just a very glowy blush. I'm going to use it as highlight today just to see what happens, in case you're a similar skin tone to me and you're wondering. Okay, I do like this formula. This is the same formula as her permanent highlighters. You see there, it's a nice highlighter, bit of glow, does add a little bit of texture. Definitely shows a bit of colour when I look forward. You can see a bit of a cast there as I look forward. So you may want to just keep it a bit further back on the cheeks, or as I've been using it, I've just been using it as a glowy blush, which I really like because you don't really need highlighter with this blush. I've just literally been mixing these two together and they do everything I need them to do as far as glow. So you've got like a nice, more matte blush that's quite neutral, and then the super glowy blush, and together they're very pretty and they give you a lovely glow to the skin while being quite nice and natural. I really like this little palette, and I'm glad I picked it up from Selfridges. I think I just need to stop shopping from Pat McGrath's website and expecting to see the products within, you know, the next calendar year. But it is tricky because they are, you know, a very popular brand with you guys to, you know, count them out fully. And myself, I love Pat McGrath. I really want to love them. But the customer service does not make it very easy. I say customer service. Their customer service, actually, when you speak to them, is very good. It's the shipping. It's the shipping that's the issue, let's face it. I mean, there's also other problems, but it's mostly the shipping that's putting me off ordering from them ever again. I'm just going to go over the top of that with the glowy blush so we can see it as a, I mean, look at that. When you apply it all over the cheek, it's really, the like gold shift really comes through. Super pretty. I really like it. I like this palette a lot. I think it would be great for travel. You could use it on the eyes. Very easy going. I'm a big fan. So I'm going to briefly sashay back to the eyes, and I'm going to use the Crease M, which is the final brand new brush of the Fundamental Eye series. It's such a lovely, long, sort of narrow, I mean, you could use this excellently in the crease for detail work. You could use this in a corner brow arch. But I love this for my lower lash line when I want something a bit more diffused. And yes, smoked out, but still fairly precise. It's nice and small if you have hooded eyes or a smaller lid. Again, it's going to get right into that crease without it being too large for you to use. I love it. And I'm just going to use that first shade that I used on my upper lid, Ebb. The faces I make when I'm doing my lower lash line, seriously, every time I'm editing videos, I'm like, for goodness sake, girl. I'm literally like, it's really sexy and attractive. I feel like I'm desperate for another coat of mascara, so let's do it. Yeah, so 3 coats is the winner. I immediately can tell. Really, the brush is very effective at like combing the product through. It's really distributing it really nicely with no clumps. It's not like sticking all my lashes together. It's lifting them really nicely. I haven't curled my lashes today, but I've got a nice amount of lift from this mascara. It's not flaking. I might have to get the brown now, you know. Oh, I should do my lower lashes as well, shouldn't I? That was a mistake. Dipping, I'm going to have to wipe the brush off. This is a perfect brush for lower lashes as well. I just know it's going to be very easy to keep them from going too crazy, which is a challenge for me with my crazy lower lashes. I just want to colour them in really, but so many mascaras just do too much down there. I've literally just fully touched my skin with that. That's ideal. Great. We'll have to let that dry and hope we can resolve it. Perfect. Just looks like I've got one giant lash, but in fact it's a dollop. What a wally. Okay, so finally I have 2 shades of the what are we calling them? Relaunched Burberry lipsticks. I only intended to buy one, but I bought a shade that is quite a bit lighter than I thought it would be. So I went back and bought a second because I really like this formula. This is the Burberry Kisses lipstick, the satin finish. They have a matte and a satin bullet formula, and I got 2 shades. So the shade that I picked up initially is Horseferry Beige, and I really liked the formula. It gave me a lovely glow to my lips, a lovely bit of sheen, but as you can see, it's really quite light and close to like my skin tone, so it was a bit foundation lippy, but I did find the perfect combo, which was Lisa Eldridge's Sorcery lip liner, and this lipstick looks stunning together, and that's the lip combo I was wearing when I first posted this on my Instagram, and when I wore this in a video, which would have been my gift guide, I think, was this lip combo if you want to see it on the lip. So I felt like it was a little light, so I went back and got a new shade, which was Monogram Brown. These bullets are really nice. They're not especially weighty, but they do feel nice and luxurious, and they look very pretty, but they're really annoying because they have that magnetic closure, but it only goes on, you know, one way. So it's like you have to fiddle around with it until you find the correct way for it to go on, you know what I mean. So we have Monogram Brown, which I love because it was basically exactly the same as Horseferry Beige, that warmer sort of caramelly nude, but deep enough for my skin tone. I would definitely go back for more of these lipsticks. They're so nice and creamy. They have a nice sort of medium opacity, which makes them like very wearable and easygoing. And they are just very comfortable, very hydrating feeling. Very nice light texture. They don't sink into lines. Obviously they're not especially long wearing because they're more satin lipstick, but such a pretty like everyday nude. I'm really enjoying them. Okay, so here we have the finished look. What do you guys think? This is obviously my first time playing with the Xenon palette. I think I'm going to like it more than I thought I would. I think I'm going to really have a lot of fun and just play with it and do some different looks, things that are outside of my comfort zone and my typical warm tone neutrals. This is definitely going to give me something different and new and fun to my collection. I think if this is your color story, you literally can't go wrong. You don't have a lot of palettes to choose from that are this color story. The formulas that I tried today, a fair few shadows in here, I loved. I think you can always really count on Natasha Denona for the formulas to be super strong, and this is no exception. Even when I was making mistakes with my application, the shadows were very easy to blend and everything went on beautifully, and I'm really happy with the look that I came out with today for something that is so cool toned and so out of my comfort zone. I really enjoyed it, and I think there's some such pretty shades that I'm still to use and playing with in there. I will post some more looks, you guys know, on my Instagram, and I'll let you know my full thoughts, having played around and used it a lot of time in my November roundup, so stay tuned for that. Now, as for this, I was going to say little set from Sonia G, but it's actually a pretty large set, isn't it? 8 brushes. This is like, if you want to buy only one set of eyeshadow brushes from Sonia, then this is it for me. It's so comprehensive. It's every brush you could ever need, and you know, a couple of options as well for different eye shapes and different eye looks. I think it just makes everything so easy. I love these walnut handles. They're so beautiful and special, but these are just so well thought out. It's got everything you could possibly need. You've got multiple crease brushes, larger and smaller, multiple lid, outer V, lower lash line, inner corner brushes of every shape and size and variety, and they all work like a dream. It's my favorite eyeshadow brush set ever. If you want to know my absolute picks, if you want to get 1 or 2 individual brushes from this collection, as they are going to be available as individuals, my absolute favorite is the Crease L. It's just the brush I wanted from Sonia G to come out, you know, a nice larger crease sort of blending brush. We now finally have the perfect one. I love it. The Builder S as well is such a perfect smaller packing or lid brush. Perfect for smaller eye shapes, perfect for hooded eyes. If you've got a smaller mobile lid, very versatile little brush as well. And then the Crease M, again, if you have hooded eyes, if you have a smaller eye shape, or you just want a really versatile little brush that can do some more precise work in the crease and lower lash lines and things like that, then this is an excellent choice as well. This is, did I say crease? The Crease M, it's very versatile, it's lovely and light and really very effective at sort of lightly blending and washing throughout the crease and also lightly smoking out your lower lash line. This whole set is fantastic. Those are my kind of top 3 if you want to go for a few individuals as opposed to the whole set. I love them. The mascara I really like. I feel like we're off to a good start. It's always hard to apply mascara on camera, but despite that, that third coat, I was like, oh, now this is what I like my lashes to look like. And I feel like this has real potential to be like a top drawer, you know, regular rotation repurchase type mascara. It gave me lots of lift, plenty of length, separation, fanned my lashes out really nicely. I like that sort of spikier, more fanned out cat eye type lash. Is that the right description? Really nice separation, really easy to use on lower lashes as well, even though I was doing that on camera. And I feel like using this off camera, I will get an amazing result. So I'm definitely, again, going to keep using this. We'll keep you posted in my November roundup as how it ages over the next few weeks, as well as how I'm liking it over the course of the next bit of time. This concealer, again, I will keep testing it. I've used it several times so far and I really like it. It definitely feels nice and comfortable under the eye. It feels lighter, it feels more hydrated. I think it looks great. It covers enough for me. I hate the doe foot, as I said. I don't understand what... The last concealer that I got from Estee Lauder, I can't remember what it was called now, but the previous one that I really liked for a long time, the doe foot was like a regular shape and size, but very hard. And this one, it's like, sometimes things aren't broken and you don't need to fix them. Like the regular doe foot that everyone else has been doing was fine. I don't know what we were going for with this one. It just doesn't work for me. It's annoying. It doesn't get really precisely into your inner corner. It doesn't distribute the product nice and evenly. I feel like it's a bit of a faff to use, but the concealer itself is really great. So that's really annoying. I really like this packaging as well. I think it's glass. Is it? If it's not, it's a very thick, heavy duty plastic that feels and looks really nice and luxurious and sophisticated. It is on the smaller side, you only get 6 mils, so that's worth noticing, but I really like this packaging. I think it's very chic and it feels nice and luxurious and weighty in my hand, in my little paw. Like I said, I don't like the doe foot, but I like everything else about it, and I think it's very flattering on the under eye area, and definitely one to try if you have a more mature under eye situation. The Pat McGrath palette, I was so pleasantly surprised. I was really glad that I actually persevered and picked this up despite having sort of washed my hands of this whole collection and got it from Selfridges, because I really like it and I think I will really use this, especially when traveling. And I think it's really pretty. I really like the overall look and effect that it gives me, and I really like this packaging. I think it's just a really nice little size and shape, and I like that it's got a little mirror, perfect for traveling, and yeah, it's got a lot going for it. Very easygoing. It's not like especially in like wow packed or incredible. I think if you already splashed out on like the Hourglass holiday palettes, like I don't think this is quite as exciting as those. So yeah, up to you whether you want to run the gauntlet of Pat McGrath's website. I know I don't. And finally, these lipsticks from Burberry, not a lot more to say really. I really like them. They're a really nice satin formula. I like these shades. I wish the online swatches were a bit more helpful, so that we could, you know, pick our shades. I feel like I could have easily bought 5 or 6 shades of these because there were so many lovely colours to choose from, and I certainly will go back for more. Very comfortable and hydrating, really nice amount of shine without being glossy or sticky, and decently wearing for a satin lipstick, but really nice and smooth finish on the lips. And I really especially love this shade, although I feel like my makeup look is extremely muddled today. Like the cheeks and the eyes and the lips are all, you know, in different time zones, but it is what it is. So there you have it. Those are all my thoughts on all of this delightfully exciting new makeup. I will, as I said, keep you posted and updated on any further developments in my November roundup. Please let me know if you tried any of these products and how you got along with them. If any of this is on your list, let me know in the comment section down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.